Hey guys, it's Adalora, or I go as Ava Addy on this channel, and today it might be a little bit messy of a video, but I just wanted to be real with you guys and open up about some struggles I've been facing. And yeah, it's gonna be messy and all over the place. I don't really know where to start, but I'll just start with I miss you guys, and thank you to all the new people that have been on my channel and to the old people that are still here supporting me. It means so much, and I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you, and I can't wait to post a lot more when I'm better. I'm very excited for future videos and future live streams where you can maybe see me post almost every day instead of once a blue moon. So, as you guys know, health has always been the main focus on this channel because I started this YouTube channel when I was 20 years old. I was very young, stupid, naive, and before I started this channel, I was very sick with a disease that left me handicapped in a wheelchair for a very long time. And this happened to me when I was in school, and it turned me into a whole different person. I think when you get sick, and you're sick for a very long time, it definitely does do something to you. And I just really want to open up with some things I've been struggling with in regards to my sickness and kind of start from the beginning again and tell you where I am now. So like I said, I started this channel when I was 20. When I was 18, I got very sick with a neurological disease called vestibular migraine. It was a very awful time because I was trying to discover who I was when I was 18. I was still very much so a tomboy. I wore lots of boy clothes and I wasn't wearing makeup. I wasn't really doing much with hair back in the day. I just was still trying to find who I was. And then when I became very sick and having attacks and having a bunch of neurological issues, it changed me. And it turned me into a person that became very, I don't even know what words I can put into this. Kind of like I was seeking so much attention. I wanted attention when really all I was seeking for was a lot of help and support. But when you're in high school, you know, people's front lobes are not fully developed yet, right? And so people just accuse you to be an attention whore, right? And it's like, oh, she just wants attention. And I didn't really get the best support when I was in high school. And then it ventured on into my early 20s. And when I was 20, I fell into a very deep depression for being sick for a long, long time. And I started acting out with drinking on streams when I first started this channel, being stupid on this channel. Like, I would just pretend to get drunk. I was a full-on attention whore, but really I was screaming for help because I didn't know how, as a young girl, to deal with a trauma where you don't know when you're getting better, you're constantly having attacks, and everything just felt crazy. And as I look back now, as I'm 27, and I look back at the woman I was before, of course, I'm ashamed of who that was, but I actually kind of understand where the old Adalora was when she was younger, right? And when I noticed that kids were entering this channel, because I only streamed Fortnite, and I only streamed games that were popular at the time, and I noticed kids were coming on the channel, and I was pretending to get drunk and being dumb, and I realized, okay, since there are children watching this, then I essentially got my shit together once I saw kids were entering the channel, and I tried to be someone healthy that they could look up to. And during that time, I didn't know how to venture through the internet. I got lots of mean comments through my YouTube channel. I was always called the N-word. I was called hurtful things, and it really, really hurt me when I was 20. I didn't know how to deal with that and deal with my disease at the same time. That was just debilitating. It was taking my entire life. It really was. I was so sick. I had to miss so many classes in school. My teachers felt so bad they passed me. I just still didn't have the tools at the age of 20 to know how to deal with two things at once. But as I was seeking through this channel to help people, I was hoping it would help me, and it did, because I met quite a few amazing people through this channel, and there was someone I did meet, and it didn't turn out very well, but even going through that, it was such a learning experience. I've never dated anyone in my life. Again, I was in a wheelchair in high school, and to be very frank with you, I really hated myself as a young teenage woman. And again, this whole disease that I was dealing with vestibular migraine, made me so insecure because everyone around me was healthy, and I didn't know how to comprehend that when I was younger, and it was very lonely. And when someone told me that they were interested in me when I was 21, I was very confused, because it's like, okay, well, this is very new to me. And I didn't learn about safety very much on the internet. I remember, I came into this completely without a manual. I just went in just thinking that the internet was butterflies and rainbows, when really it's such a savage place. And it's such a beautiful place also, because there's a bunch of people that lurk on the internet that are good and bad, and then there's some that are in between, right? And I think once I got the hang of it, when I got older through this channel, I kind of knew better how to deal with bullshit and deal with not nice comments. I knew how to deal with my personal life off camera. Sometimes I would bring some of my personal life when it had to do with someone that I dated a long time ago. I brought it on this channel because at the time, once again, I didn't have friends to go to about it. I didn't have a lot of support in that time, and this was all I had. So yeah, just venturing through this was quite a task, but I'm very lucky that I ended up very happy with this channel. A lot of hard work, meeting a lot of beautiful people. I noticed that most of the people at the time where I was getting quite a bit of views were kids that had autism and Down syndrome, and people had a lot of disabilities, and it was beautiful because they felt alone, and they felt misunderstood, and they didn't have someone that they could go to. And I decided to take all the kids under my wing and make people feel special, and that's when I realized this was something I wanted to do. Yeah, YouTube kind of became a saving grace, a saving place that I felt I could be understood a bit from people who didn't know me personally, but then they got to know me more throughout. But again, this video is all over the map. I might be tripping over words. As I was going through this channel, the older I got, I finally was able to get rid of my neurological disease. I still have it, but it's not enough where it's debilitating me every single day. And that took a long time. Once I got better, I started dating outside of YouTube. I was able to meet someone in person. I did a few gigs, and my career with music was a little bit slow, but it was picking up just a teeny bit. I was able to do quite a few gigs, and I did a gig for someone's graduation, and then I also did a few other stuff, and I was supposed to actually go on tour, but unfortunately the tour got canceled because things just kind of went wrong. So I had some pretty big opportunities after I got better, and I was gone from YouTube for a bit because I was dating outside of it, and then I came back to the YouTube channel again once that relationship didn't go great. I came back and I still went full force, and then I met someone else again, and I took time away from my YouTube channel. Usually when I date people, I take so much priority with them because I'm not here to date just to date. I'm here to get married and one day have a family with someone, but also focus on my career because I still want to do acting and music. And so every single time that I had personal stuff that I wanted to deal with, I always came back to the channel, and I still had so much support, which is so crazy. I'm so grateful and thankful that I have you guys still to lean on when I come back. I know a lot of YouTubers who are bigger have no issue. They could leave for 2 years and they can come back and they'll get swarmed by a lot of people. Or with me, I'm a very small YouTuber, and if I left for a while and I come back, I still get the same people or new people, and it's really such a blessing. So, while I was in my last relationship, I got very, very sick again. I was 24, and I noticed that I was having lots of stomach problems, and it turned out to be H. pylori, which is a bacteria that eats your stomach lining. I got it because I was born in Romania, and I was born very poor. And my mother gave birth to me, and then she left me in the hospital, and I unfortunately caught H. pylori when I was a baby, and then it just stayed in my stomach for all the years that it did, and then it came to fruition when I turned 26. During that time, it was very difficult because, again, I'm feeling like shit. I just got rid of a very awful disease that carried on for a very long time. And then this happens, and it was very rough to go through it. And I had a little bit of support going through it. But it still was a very awful experience, especially since it kind of stopped me from doing a lot of gigs. It kind of stopped me from doing things I wanted to do because H. pylori really just took a hold of my body and just stopped me. Yet, while I was in that relationship, I still gave everything I could to that person, and I still showed up every single day, showed up to everything. And yeah, I fought through that disease to the best I could, and I did a very good job. And I'm very proud of myself for that. As time went on, when I was in that relationship, dealing with my stomach, I was going through a lot of other stuff in that relationship that wasn't very good, and it was very detrimental to my health. And I decided to cut that person off and leave him, and I decided to hone down on faith again and hone down on my health, and that was the best decision I've ever made. And I was able to focus and eradicate H. pylori, and I finally did it. But then I was met with another health issue, and I was met with endometriosis, which I knew about it. I knew about endometriosis when I was in that bad relationship. I knew about it, and they did tell me I had a cyst in my ovaries, but I decided to ignore it because, for one, I wasn't too sure that I wanted to deal with that when I had so much other things to deal with through that time. I didn't fully understand how bad my endometriosis was. I knew I had a cyst in my ovaries at the time. It was 5.5 centimeters, which is pretty big. But again, I was in such a different place. I really was in such a bad, terrible place where I just totally ignored all of my health, and I just wanted to prioritize this relationship I was in. And when they told me the size it was, because I ignored it for another year, my cyst grew to 8.5 centimeters. Super big. And it was really sad because she told me, if I operated right now, you could lose your left ovary. So there was a lot of stress with that, right? And it was really hard on my mental health because I literally just got through so many other traumatic shit. And then on top of it, I was told I have endometriosis and a pretty big cyst in my ovaries. I always knew that I wanted to be a mom when I was younger. I always knew that I wanted kids. And then to be told that I could maybe not have that opportunity, that was scary. But luckily my doctor did the surgery and she saved my left ovary, but she told me you have lots of endo still on your back and we couldn't get that. And if you go off this pill that's kind of mellowing out the disease, it can grow and then you're going to have to get another surgery, which I'm doing. I don't really give a shit if I get another surgery, because if that means I can have kids someday, then I'm going to do it. So it was a lot, and surgery didn't come quick. I had to go on medication for quite some time first, and then it took forever. So, I'm just opening up about how I've had one thing after another with health, and I never really had full windows to really experience life, I had this half glass full mentality, which was like, things will get better, but they turned out to not get better because once I eradicated H. pylori, I noticed that I was having lots of discomfort with my stomach. I couldn't eat anything without feeling like I was having gallbladder attacks. So I went to get a scope and they found really nothing. And then I went through last summer confused as to why I was getting chronic attacks. These attacks that I would get would make me almost faint, and it was just very traumatic. The pain that I was in, it's a pain that I will never forget, because I ended up in the hospital quite a few times last year from it. It would make me collapse literally from pain. And no one knew what it was. So it was another year of not knowing what it was. So I went through all last year in bed, not able to go see friends, not able to go do things, and not attend things, because the pain that I was experiencing was so bad. And my stomach doctor didn't know what it was. No one really knew what it was. And that's when the pain was just so awful that I decided to I came out of a very, very, very bad relationship. And it was a very traumatic one. And then I had a whole other year of going through so much trauma and pain, trying to get through that, and then trying to get through my stomach pain. And one thing led to another, where I had a bath, and I told myself, tonight is the night I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I had thoughts of I told myself that I was going to either overdose on pills, or I was going to drink myself to death. I was so lost. I was lost, very sad, very lost. I didn't know where life was taking me, honestly. My thought process was, during this time, was, what do I have to live for? You know, I spent a long time putting the priorities towards things that weren't benefiting me. I spent so much time trying to figure out that I could get through multiple diseases, but I keep getting another one after another. And I was very sad, and I was lonely, and I didn't know how to deal with all of this. So I decided to stop following God that night. I started to finally come to conclusion that living wasn't an optional thing I wanted to do. So that night I went into the bathtub, and I was trying to think of how I'm not going to be here. And then I heard this voice, and I knew instantly it was Jesus's voice. And all I heard was, "My child, come talk to me in your room." So I took out the drain in the bath, and I went to my room. And I've never Bible studied, really. I'm not one to really look in my Bible, but I did. And he told me, look at your Bible, and I want you to look at Matthew 8. And so I went to that specific page, and he told me where to go. And immediately my eyes went to Jesus healed someone with leprosy. And it just stunned me. And I was like, whoa. And he basically told me that everything's going to be okay. And I told him, I don't know. I just feel like you're punishing me. I felt so sad. I felt so small. I felt so insignificant. And he told me, I have a lot of plans. If you actually did go through to what you were trying to do, you never would have met a person that I want you to meet in your life. And I said to him in the prayer, I said, well, how do you expect me to meet someone? I can barely get out of bed. And he said, well, you just have to trust me. And he said, this person that I'm going to lead you to in November is the person you should be with. He is a son of mine. I know him personally. Well, skip a few pages here. I did a ton of Bible studying and a ton of prayers with God and Jesus. They led me to my recent boyfriend, who I'm with now. The crazy thing about it is I met him in November. And I was doing a live stream for men's mental health. I still had really bad mental health, but I stuck to Jesus's words. I stuck to his promise. And I saw him on my live stream, and it was a night that he was going through a lot himself, and he asked me for a cameo. He wanted a cameo from me, and I gave him one, and one thing led to another. We just started becoming really good friends. I DM'd him, and I said, thank you so much for the cameo, and just months later, we just ended up to be best friends. He made me laugh. He made me feel seen. He made me feel heard. We sent so many voice messages to each other on Christmas. I had a big crush on him, and I never felt this way, and I'm not one who usually asks someone out to date me ever. Especially since my last relationship wasn't very good, and I had lots of trauma, and I couldn't trust men anymore after that. I couldn't trust people after that. And I went back to God, and I said, Lord, if this is the right person for me, then send him to me. Make sure that this is right for me. If it's not, then get him away from me. And Jesus said to me, Adele, this is the right person. He is my son. I know him personally. This is the one you should end up with. Just for some more context, I have the ability to hear Jesus speak to me. I know I might sound crazy, but I have the ability to hear him. And I went into 2 other relationships before I met my boyfriend, Sean. I just went full feet in. I knew the other 2 relationships weren't right from the get-go. And with this one, I felt that it was right. And it turned out to be the best choice I've ever made, going through asking someone out. It was the most perfect situation that God put me in, because he knew that I couldn't physically go out to date people. So this beautiful man that I met, his name is Sean. He lives in Scotland. I live here in Canada. Just for some backup, I was obsessed with this TV show called Outlander, and I watched it a month after I left my other ex. And it saved my life. Like, literally, it was such an amazing show. And I remember praying to God and saying, Lord, I really want someone who treats me like the way that Jamie treats Claire. And he was like, okay. And immediately, Sean treated me so well. His family really, really adores me. And then his friends, I became actually pretty close with his friends. The entire family was just so perfect, and it felt so good without having to even try. And he knew before that I was very, very sick. He knew that I needed surgeries, and he was patient. And I learned that he was a Christian man too, and we would pray together, and I would just talk to him for hours. And I finally told him that I love him. And I can't believe this, but he's gonna come visit perhaps in September if I'm feeling good, and then he's gonna come back and get me in February, and I'm gonna go live with him for a while in Scotland, and we're gonna go on a big massive trip towards London and to Ireland and go to Glasgow and to Edinburgh. This is something I never thought I would ever have, and his family is so excited for me. And everyone, like, I get DMs quite often from his cousin and from his friends. They're like, when are you coming? I'm like, soon guys. I'm just very, very, very honored and happy to let you guys know such happy news with that, because I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though you can go through really hard tribulations in your life, God still has some good plans for you. And I've noticed too, with living, life isn't always like this. Things don't always stay the same. Things have to change and evolve. And I remember Jesus telling me that this was the year changeling for me. He said this is the year where things will change, and that you will get out of your old skin and you'll become a new person. And I really have, and I've learned so much this year. I've learned a lot about not caring what people think about me anymore. I've learned about prioritizing me and myself. I've learned to put boundaries down. I've learned to love myself. I've learned to let go of a lot of very sad, traumatic things in the past. I've become quite literally a new person. So back to my health. Remember, I was telling you guys no one knew what was wrong with my stomach. And I did a lot of research, and I went ahead and got a scan for my gallbladder, and it came out normal. And I was like, totally just confused. I think everyone was bamboozled with that. They were like, what the fuck? So I did even more research, and I'm telling you, this took a long time for research to keep popping. And I came across 2 diseases, and one of them was called biliary dyskinesia, which is the gallbladder is not emptying properly. And then another one that I came across was called functional dyspepsia, which is a nerve disorder. It's basically the nerves are just all over the map, and it affects your stomach, it affects your stomach lining, it affects everything. and those symptoms added up to mine. I knew that my stomach doctor was going to call. I'm going to open up to you guys about this. I really don't care how embarrassing it is. At this point, you guys have learned quite a bit about my health. I actually had to get a colonoscopy because my endometriosis led to me getting chronic hemorrhoids. So that call that I was going to get from my doctor was for him to let me know what they found. And he just basically told me, like, yeah, you have pretty serious hemorrhoids and it's really bad. And he said, do you have any questions? And I said, hey, do you think that this stomach problem I have could be functional dyspepsia? And he said, yeah, I think you do have functional dyspepsia. And he said, the way to treat that is to put you on nerve medications. So it's a medication meant for depression, but they put you in a super low dose, and the low dose is to help recalibrate the body again, since my nerves are out of whack. After that phone call, I went back to my computer and I was just doing more research with my boyfriend, and I was like, hey, this is what it could be, yada yada. He said it could be, for sure. And I learned that functional dyspepsia can mimic gallbladder problems. But I'm still going to get another test just to make extra sure it's not my gallbladder. I'm getting something called a HIDA test, and through that test, they'll see if my gallbladder truly is emptying. Okay, if it's not, then I'm going to have to get it removed immediately. But my doctor is pretty convinced it's functional dyspepsia, and so far I've been on medication for it for 7 days. The hard part and the kicker part is that it takes 8 weeks for the medication to start working, unfortunately. So I'm still in pain, but by the 8-week mark, it said you have a pretty good chance to get your life back, which is great to tell you guys. So I'm still not feeling fully confident yet. I'm still not feeling like I'm out of the woods. It really depends if this medication does work for me or not. Again, I can't really say it is because it's only been 7 days. But so far it's been making me tired. But I'm pushing through. I'm doing the best I can. I had a really, really bad day today with my mental health. And I said to my boyfriend, you know what, I want to make a video and be honest and open with people. And being honest and open with you guys. I'm just trying to show you guys it's not a very easy journey, but God does give you good things. When there's hard stuff, good things does come too, right? Like I said to you guys, things don't always stay the same. Things have to move, right? Life it's not forever. It's only just for the now. So why did I make this video? I made this video because I want to help people. I want to give positivity. I want to show people that even though you've been through hell, there are good things to stay on earth for. There are good things to push for. Would you say I'm happy every day? No. There's lots of people that post in social media and they're fake as fuck, saying like, look at me, I'm doing so good. Yeah, I don't think you are, babe. Because I'm not doing great, and people still assume that I'm doing amazing. I'm not. I'm actually in a lot of pain today still with my stomach. But things are taking a long time for everything to make sense and go into line, and that's fine. But I at least have something going good with this. We're figuring things out. I do want to update you guys on my legs. I have been dealing with a swelling disorder. It's called lymphedema. I've noticed I've had lymphedema since I was young because I always had bigger legs, bigger arms. It's in my arms as well. I weigh the exact same that I did forever. My weight hasn't changed. You might think that I look so healthy. That's only because I'm retaining a lot of water. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to get surgery for my legs, and lymphedema is also in my butt as well. It's in my arms. I'm getting surgery for that soon too, to remove the disease, which is going to be hard to go through too. But I'm basically on the mend to get rid of these problems and eradicate it and get ready to live again. But I'm trying my best. I'm trying to get through what I can. My heart really does go out to those who are suffering with chronic pain and just with terrible, shitty health in general. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Advice that I can give you, I don't know. It's different for everyone. Honestly, being around positive people really helps. It doesn't heal anything, but it does help you mentally. Before I met my boyfriend, I reached out to this actress over Cameo. Her name's Lottie Verbeek, and she's from Outlander. And I reached out to this lady 9 times. Pretty crazy. To the point now she follows me on Instagram, and she has been a major support system. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to have support in your house. You can find it in different places. Whether that's a community place on Facebook, or if it's with friends, with families, wherever it is, you know, you have support here on this channel as well. Absolutely you do. I think the really big takeaway right now of this video for everyone is, once again, yes, dark times are terrible. Yes, some people get targeted more than others who get sick, and I don't know why. I don't know why you're sick. I don't know why I'm sick. I truly still don't know what God's plan is for me. But I know that being sick, you have to choose yourself. Prioritize yourself. If you're sick and you're dating someone, that person needs to respect the fact you're sick, which mine does. My boyfriend is fucking fabulous. He really prioritizes me. He's been supportive. He's been loving. He has been just an amazing support system. Just prioritize yourself. Will things get better? I really don't know. It depends. But just know you're not alone. And know that you can come here anytime, and that I love you and I care about you. I really don't know what else to say. This video is kind of all over the place, and I'm really sorry for that. I just really felt like making a video and putting something out to help people. I have a lot of surgeries ahead of me. I still have a lot of healing to do with my stomach, but at the end run, I know that things are going to get much better. Things are going to work out. And yeah, things are going to work out for you guys too, okay? Have glass full, one day at a time. I love you guys. I'm just going to do a quick prayer. Lord, I ask you to put your loving hands on every single person. Do not touch the evil, but touch the good. The people who are kind and pure. Touch their souls as they're watching this video and heal them, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. I love you guys very much. Thank you for listening to this video, and I hope to see you guys soon, and I'll update you when I can. You guys take care.